Bare and Complete with Lauren Fairchild. 100% acceptance and empowerment for women. Welcome to this next episode of Bare and Complete, all around acceptance and empowerment for women, where we really bear it all so that we can cut through all the layers of shit that have been placed on us over our lives. And when we do that, we realize underneath it all, we're actually complete and whole. I'm Lauren Fairchild, and I'm so excited to have you here on this episode where we're going to deep dive into one of the really most powerful topics that I believe has made a significant difference in my life. And this topic is around love. And it's really around acceptance and empowerment of what love means, but the relationship that we have with love towards ourselves. And I'm a bit nervous to even use the word self-love because I feel like nowadays that gets an eye roll. People are like, oh, this is just about self-love. And even that in itself is a really big reflection on how we have this relationship with ourselves, because even self-love is almost getting a bad reputation now. Something that's been done before, it's been talked about before. So I really want to come at this with a fresh perspective and really cut through to really get to the, bearing it all, which is obviously what this is about. And I firstly want to ask you a question, and I want you to be really honest with yourself and feel in your body what comes up for you. And the question is, who do you love the most in this world? So just have a think about that for a second. Who do you love the most? Honestly, who would you say you love the most? And the reason I'm asking this question is because every single person that I know would not include themselves at the top of that list. In fact, they wouldn't include themselves at any point of the people that they listed. So if I asked you that question, who do you love the most? You may have had a collection of one name or a collection of a few names. It's often, if you're a parent, it would often be your children who you say you love the most, or who you recognize that you love the most. If you have a significant other, a partner, that would be up there on that list. And then depending on your relationship with your own parents or your own siblings or family or your own very close friends, they might be up there on that list as well. And there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. That's beautiful. I'm not telling you to not love those people, but there is a very important person missing from that list. And if you didn't include this person from that list, then this episode is going to change your life. Because the person who should be right up there on the very top of the list, at least equal first, if you're not ready to make it the clear number one, the person on top of that list should be you. You should love yourself the most. And when I say that, you should love yourself the most, I want you to feel what happens in your body and in your mind. You should love yourself the most. Tune into your body. What's happening? What are you noticing in your body? Because I'll tell you what's happening in mine, and I have actually been doing this work. I have fear rise in my body, a nervousness, an energy that I'm doing something wrong, that I'm bad. I feel it come up in my heart, like a tenseness in my heart, a restriction in my throat. You should love yourself the most. I have thoughts of, whoa, like alarm bells going off. How can you say that? How can you think that? You're a bad girl if you love yourself the most. That's selfish. You're evil. That's what I'm getting for myself. I hear it. The little devil in my ear saying, you're evil if you think you love yourself the most. How dare you love yourself the most? That's selfish if you love yourself the most. You're a mother and you're saying you love yourself the most. Is that not revealing? That is the most revealing thing about bearing it all, is honestly that experience. Because if that's how my body is physically responding and saying that, my mind is responding in that way, then that means that me saying I love myself the most is not welcome in my system. It's not true in my system, because I've been told that that is bad over time through culture, through society, through media, through family and friends, and living in the world, and how is, you know, how we get everything, how we get all of our beliefs and our programming. But I ask you the question now, how did it feel in your body and in your mind? Because this episode is really about you understanding this relationship that you have with yourself, and the permission that you have with yourself to have love for yourself, and not just a little bit of love, but a lot of love, and put yourself right up to the top of that list. I want to firstly go into the fact that there isn't just a certain amount of love in the world. There's not, you know, just one cup of love to go around for everybody who you love in the world, and you know, you can only give a certain amount to that person, a certain amount to that person, a certain amount to that person, and then you run out of love. Love is an endless supply. It's infinite. You can love everyone and everything in the world wholeheartedly and still have enough love left over if you want. So it's not as if loving yourself is actually going to take away love for someone else. So firstly, the notion that it's selfish to love ourselves the most, or we need to feel guilty if we love ourselves the most, is really a non-issue. It's a non-comment. It doesn't make sense, because love is infinite. There's so much love. You don't have a limited love amount that you can give. So you can give your love freely. You can love your child or your husband or partner or your parents or your siblings or your best friend. You can love them with all of your heart and still love yourself just as much or more. So the notion that it's selfish or you need to feel guilty to actually have so much love for yourself is actually not true. So we can cut that bullshit out straight away. So the second notion is you're bad if you love yourself the most. That's one that came up for me. Why are you a bad girl if you love yourself the most? Why is this a thing that if we love ourselves the most, or if we love ourselves so much that we're equal first on the list of people who we love, then why does that make as a bad girl. The reasons that come up for me, and these reasons are very telling. So my reasons that come up for me might be different to the reasons that come up for you. So I really want you to tune into what comes up for you too. But for me, what comes up is, well, if you love yourself the most, then you'll be mean to others. You'll only care about yourself. You'll only do things that suit yourself. So it's kind of like this evil picture. If I love myself the most, I'm going to be mean and evil and not be kind to others, which in reality is actually not true. Loving myself the most doesn't automatically mean I'm going to change my personality and start being a bitch to other people or mean or steal people's, toys if I was a kid on the playground. Loving yourself the most actually doesn't mean that you're going to become a bad person, or in this instance, a bad girl. It's absolute bullshit. What it means to love yourself the most actually means that you are nourishing yourself. You are doing what's right for you in the sense of putting in healthy boundaries with people, as in not doing things to get external validation from other people. It means being true to yourself in the sense of being and living your true values, which majority of us have the values to be kind and to be generous, but not at the expense of ourselves. And I would almost guarantee that if we all started loving ourselves the most, we wouldn't find that the world is more evil or more unkind. I actually challenge that thought because I believe that if we all love ourselves the most, we would be pouring out with kindness, pouring out with generosity, pouring out with more love. Because we already feel whole and complete. We already feel full of love, that we don't need external validation from anyone else to tell us how much we need to be loved, how loved we are. Because we actually do it ourselves. And when you do it yourself, you are actually freeing yourself to be you. And to be not only you, but the best version of you. Because when you love yourself, what does that do? What do you think that does? If you think about the person who, before, when I asked you who's on the top of your list, if you think about those people who you truly love the most, who's not yourself, could be a child, could be a partner, could be a family member, best friend, whoever it is for you. If you think about the person you love the most, what would you do for that person? You'd be so kind to them, loyal to them. You'd make them feel good. You'd make them feel happy. You would support them, guide them, nourish them. There's no better feeling than seeing the person you love the most happy. And that brings you joy. So imagine what that does when you're the person you love the most. Imagine how much that self-rewarding relationship is when you see yourself happy. But also when you're sad, you know what to do. You nourish them. You nourish yourself. You don't abandon yourself. You don't talk negatively to yourself. You don't have this inner critic that has the volume up so loud. You love yourself as if you are the most important person in this world. And I'll tell you a secret. You are the most important person in this world. You are the most important person in this world to yourself. Because without you, you aren't in existence. So this thing we have where we're not allowed to love ourselves the most is actually a made-up story that we all have because we think that makes us bad or selfish or evil. But what that story does is actually shatter the relationship that we're supposed to have with ourselves, which is supposed to be endless love, endless respect, endless loyalty, nourishment, happiness, joy, connection with ourselves. It's a really powerful thing. Really powerful. The stronger your connection is with yourself, and the stronger your relationship with yourself is, and the stronger your love is for yourself, you will be able to have a better experience in this life, a more joyful experience in this life. And I promise you, you're not going to turn out to become a big meanie or evil or be, in some horrific experience where you're selfish all the time. And what's interesting about this topic of self-love is that nobody knows, no one can see your relationship with yourself. Just like they can't physically see the love that you have for a child or a partner or anyone. You can't physically see that. It's seen through actions, and it's seen through behaviors, and it's seen through words, and it's seen through, the environment that you create. And if it's a loving and caring environment that you have with that person, then you can see that and you can feel it. So as you improve the relationship with yourself, you're going to look the same physically. But there's going to be other things that come through. Your energy is going to be different. Your vibe is going to be different. And your mood is likely going to be different because you're going to be happier naturally because you're not seeking external validation for love. You're not hating on yourself. And even if you don't fully hate on yourself, if you don't love yourself the most, or at least have yourself on that top of the list, shared with the other people there, then you're selling yourself short. And your environment would be actually suffering because of it. And I'll tell you another thing. You are stuck with yourself in this life no matter what. You got no choice. You're stuck with yourself. But that can be a beautiful thing. You want to be stuck with yourself. You're so loyal with yourself. You're together forever. So support that. Nourish that relationship. If your relationship with yourself isn't the best relationship that you have, then it is something that you need to look at. Because the benefits of this are going to be tremendously in your favor. And just from a want point of view, if you're in a relationship with someone and you know you are going to be in a relationship with them for the rest of your life, wouldn't you want to work on that relationship? Wouldn't you want to love that person in that relationship the most in your life? Wouldn't you want to nourish them and support them? And that's exactly how you need to start thinking about yourself, because you are in a relationship with yourself, and you are in a relationship with yourself till the end of your life. Your lifelong partner is yourself. And I promise you, once you build and nourish and have a beautiful two-way respectful relationship with yourself, you love yourself the most, your other relationships will blossom further. They will thrive because you're thriving. So it's really beautiful. So I want to give you some tips on how to actually do this, because obviously we've just gone through how important it is, and we should all love ourselves the most. So there's a couple of different ways to do this, which I'm going to share with you. So the first one is a way which some people can actually feel uncomfortable with. But I did learn this off a very wise man, Vishen, who is part of the Mind Valley. He's the owner of Mind Valley. He created it. And he had a tool which is really difficult for some people at the beginning. But I promise you, the more you do it and the more comfortable you feel, it's going to be really profound. So it's about looking in the mirror at yourself and get close up so you can actually look into your own eyes. And then you just say for 10 times in a row, I love you. And really look at yourself and mean it as if you're looking at a child or a partner or whoever you do love yourself, whoever you do love the most. So be genuine with it. It might feel really uncomfortable at the start, but I implore you to continue and do it for a week or two. And honestly, get more comfortable with saying I love you to yourself. Look in your own eyes and tell yourself you love you. It's really powerful and it's so simple to do. And if you tie it with something that you do every day, like brushing your teeth, you're going to remember to do it. So I really recommend that you do that. And the other way that you can do that is to start writing a letter to yourself. And write to yourself all the wonderful things about yourself. And again, some people find this really challenging at the start. And even that is telling. It's telling you something. It's telling you that you automatically don't know the amazing things about yourself. You might just be focusing on the bad things about yourself or the things you don't like about yourself. But what do you love about yourself? I'm sure if you give yourself the time and the space, you'll find things that you do love about yourself, that you think are great about you. And I promise you, there's a lot more things that are great about you than you would actually realize. So start writing it down. Write a love letter to yourself. The other thing you can do is to actually close your eyes and have an imaginary conversation with yourself. So imagine that you are in front of you. You've got a version of you in front of you with your eyes closed. Just imagine that. And then have a two-way communication as if you have a relationship with each other, as if it's your lifelong partner. Because remember, it is your lifelong partner. It is you. And just have a chat. How have I been treating you? How are you feeling? And see what they say back to you. Hopefully they say, yeah, I feel great. I think our relationship's beautiful. Let's go skipping down the street. But maybe there's going to be some issues that come up. And when you allow that space for that conversation, things will come up for you to work on in your relationship. It might be things like, you always ignore me, or you always put me down, or you always make me feel like shit. Whatever it might be, just allow it to come and come from a place of curiosity, not blame if you do something like this. It's a really powerful way to have a two-way communication with yourself to work out your problem areas where you want to work on. And a lot of the time, just talking about it and acknowledging it allows this to break the cycle, or at least have awareness when you do it again. And that's another tool you can use. If you're in the moment, try and be aware of how you're treating yourself, how you're talking to yourself, and always pause and reframe and make it positive, as if you were talking to a child or a loved one, a partner. Treat yourself how you would treat the person you love the most. And then over time, allow yourself to be that person that you love the most. It is the most important relationship in your life. So it's worth doing the work. Another tool you can do is The gratitude tool, this is a quite common one, a well-known one, but just normally it's used to say 3 things you're grateful for in the day. This actually has been proven to build an actual part of your brain and make it bigger and stronger to look for positives. So instead of you can still do gratitude if you do that 4 things in the day, but do 3 things you're grateful for about yourself in the day as well, every day for a week or 2 weeks, and see how that changes. The beautiful thing about that is when you start looking for little things that you're grateful for about yourself, you're going to be noticing these more and more and more. It trains your brain to look for the good, look for the positives, look for the things that you love about yourself. And that's another tool you can use. That's a lot of tools, so I'll just give you this last one. You can just set the intention in the day, in the morning, whether for yourself or to the universe. Universe, I'd love for you to show me all the ways I love myself today. And then go out on about your day. If you set the intention, you're going to see it. Similar to if you never see red cars and then you say, oh, I'm going to buy a red car, and then you see red cars everywhere. They were always there. Your brain was just not allowing you to see it because your brain is processing so much information all at once, 400 billion bits of information every second. Your subconscious mind is processing, and our conscious mind only processes 2,000 bits of information per second. So it doesn't have the same ratio. So the red cars are there, they're not in your field because you haven't set the intention to look for them until you say, I want to buy a red car, and then obviously you see red cars everywhere. The same works for yourself and gratitude. So use those tools, just pick one, don't use them all. Pick one, try it out for a week or 2, and then if you want, pick another one and try that out. Or if you really want to go full on, you can do them all. They don't take a lot of time. So thank you so much for joining me in this episode. It is so, so, so important to love yourself the most. It doesn't make you a bad person if you love yourself the most. It doesn't take away love from the others that you love as well. So say it with me now, because I decree and declare that I, Lauren Fairchild, love myself the most. And I am so excited to continue to build this beautiful relationship that I have with myself. I'm going to nourish this relationship that I have with myself because I am my own lifelong partner. And I implore you to do the same. Thank you so much for joining me. These are really powerful things. And I am so excited to really continue sharing important topics on Bare and Complete. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you, and I'm excited for you to love yourself the most. And I love me the most too. Mwah. Much love to you all. Subscribe to the channel now. Bare and Complete with Lauren Fairchild. 100% acceptance and empowerment for women.